gentlemen, what's going on? Welcome to episode 189 of the It's Obvious podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Preston Pugh, and I'm joined by my two best friends, Garrett Drake.
Afternoon, gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be joined by you both.
And Jacob Alka.
Hey.
Hey, how we doing?
Doing all right. How are you guys?
Feeling good.
Yeah.
Looking good.
You're looking good, definitely. I dig that beard, man. Can I feel it real quick? You know, I like to feel your beard.
I'm going to shave it off soon.
Why?
I don't know.
Just go for it, man.
I don't like to keep something too long. I got to mix it up.
Okay. All right. Well, you look great right now.
Well, thank you.
I just had to trim my beard a few days ago. It got to the point where it hurt me. It's like every time I would scratch my beard, it was so rough and I had no oil or anything that it would like physically hurt my face. So I had to shave it.
I know that life.
Yeah, you got to keep her oiled up.
Yeah, but I haven't had a thick beard since, I think, 2016, maybe 2017.
Yeah.
It's been that long?
Yeah. I mean, I've had beard since then, but I haven't had like a thick beard since then.
Why not?
I don't know. I just kind of got over it. So
It was a phase.
yeah, kind of like my long hair phase.
Yeah.
I don't remember if we were doing the podcast then, but it was I think 2015 when I decided I was gonna really outgrow it, and I did it for a few months, and initially caved, but man, I went all in. I had the combs and the oils and the shampoos and everything.
You gotta have all the juices and the fragrances and lotions to keep it intact.
Yeah, I eventually hit like a point where I felt like nothing was happening, so I just ended up shaving
I got to
it.
that point too. That's when I finally shaved it off. It was just too much.
It like stopped growing, so it's like I
I
guess
could basically eat my entire mustache. It was so long at one point. Yeah, I could grow a mustache not unlike the guys in Tombstone easily if I wanted to.
Did you like keep cheese in it and stuff?
Yeah, of course.
Just a bunch of
any kind of snacks you want to hold off for later. Just, you know, a little piece of popcorn, maybe a little piece of candy, and just dig it out when you're hungry.
Yeah. So I'm having a problem recently, and I need some advice.
Okay.
I'm dealing with some dry skin, like I told you earlier, Garrett.
Yeah.
And
I'll
I think
man. All you have to do is ask.
I think that it's because of the soap that I'm using, and I'm wondering, like, do you guys have like a soap, or what do you guys use for dry skin? What do you do to conquer that problem?
I don't know. It really probably comes down to like the body wash or soap you're using, maybe. I don't get that dried out. My hands get really dried out, but my skin overall doesn't really get dried out.
Jacob,
But just get some body lotion, man.
let me teach you the ways, my ways.
Okay.
I
I'm
use a body wash that is extra moisturizery, if that makes sense. It's supposed
It
to
does.
add moisture, but there is also this thing that I did not know of until I got married. It is lotion that you put on while you're still in the shower.
What?
Yeah, it comes in this little tube, and you just roll it on after you've washed and everything, and you're damp when you put it on, and then you
This is
pat dry yourself when you get out, and I kid you not, dude, it's like your skin is just like a marshmallow.
What is it called?
Is it called marshmallow?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
It's like just in shower lotion, I think. I don't buy it. It's like
shower lotion.
I steal
I'll have
my
to get
wife's.
with you and see what this stuff is.
Lotion you use in the shower.
Yeah, so I just jack hers, but the times that I've used it, it works extremely well.
Awesome.
I don't care what kind of product it is. I just want to make this stuff go away. Like, it's on my face. It's on my hands.
I have
everywhere.
face and body lotion for that exact reason.
Yeah.
You can even use some.
I mean, like I use lotion and like it works. Like I can put it on like in the morning and it'll last the whole day, but it's just annoying like having to deal with it, you know, if I don't have to.
It's a cost of life dealing with the cold winter months.
Yeah. And it's not even that cold here. Like I would be a wreck anywhere colder.
Yeah.
So, but did you guys have good weeks? Anything exciting happen? Besides Kingdom Hearts 3, of course.
Not necessarily. I still haven't played Kingdom Hearts. I have it. I just haven't played it.
Oh, well,
I've been too busy.
I'm going to have to ask you to kindly leave.
Yeah, I'll get out of here, man.
Jacob, how many hours are you into Kingdom Hearts?
I have only played 22.
See, I'm at 30, sir.
Wow. Preston's played more than me.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So have you beat the game?
No.
Okay.
I'm a little bit into, maybe halfway into the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait, you're at 30 hours and you're only there?
Yeah.
What?
I've been knocking out trophies on my way, clearing out the worlds, following a guide, getting all the treasures I can. That's probably why.
Yeah, there's a ton of treasures. Like,
yeah. Dude, have you looked at the trophies for this?
Nope.
It is.
What's it like?
Completely easy.
Really?
Yeah, you don't have to beat it on proud mode or anything, and none of the trophies are missable. So you can just go back and mop them up when you're done with the story.
I might do that then. Yeah.
So yeah,
that'd be a good platinum on my my list.
Yeah, I love. I don't even know if I pronounce his name correctly. Power Pricks. That's my dude when it comes to trophies, and he has ranked this game a 3 out of 10 on the difficulty scale for platinum.
Nice.
So definitely obtainable. So I'm probably
there's usually always like difficulty trophies, and then there's like ones for the Hades Cup and whatnot. Which
and I don't think anything like that is in this game. And from what I've heard, I haven't seen him yet, but like the big bad optional boss in this game is not even close to as hard as like Sephiroth.
Interesting.
So I've seen some people very disappointed in that, but
the game is overall easier.
Yes.
For sure.
Is it because you're a grown man, or is it because it just is easier?
It's just easier.
No, it's easier for sure.
Which I don't have a problem with. I don't think.
I have not died one time yet.
I've died in the gummy ship.
Have you?
Yeah,
that's embarrassing.
I still hate the ship, dude.
Yeah.
I think that like made it even worse. Like it's just not fun at all. It's like just it's a flat 2D surface, and enemies just like come onto the screen and like you shoot them. It's like a old like retro like space shooter, like a Galaga or something. It's really not that fun, but you have to do it to move on to these new planets. So
yeah, there's
I just sit there and suffer through it.
There's a secret boss too that you have to kill as one of the trophies in the gummy ship. God. So you have to.
Don't tell me that.
Yeah, you have to level that bad boy up.
Great.
So.
Anyways, let's talk about good things about the game. So I mean, this game is probably almost everything that I wanted for the series, honestly. I want to hear your thoughts, Preston, but the combat it's insanely fun. Like I was a little skeptical going in with all these different systems in the just in the combat, because there's so many different things you can do, honestly. Because you have the Keyblade transformations, you have your magic, you have your regular Keyblade swings, you have attractions, you have your combos that you can do with your party, and you have
Links.
Did I already say Keyblade transformations?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, the summons, which are called limits, and like all that put together, like you would think you would be overwhelmed, but it kind of just flows together in a way where you don't really think about it.
Oh, and the crap, what's it called? Where you hold down R1.
The like the shot lock or whatever.
Yeah, shot lock.
Where you can like literally shoot things, or you can teleport to a location by pressing a button.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. And it's used a lot in the Big Hero 6 world, which is really fun.
Yeah,
it's one of my more favorite worlds, and I just finished it yesterday on stream. The combat. Like I said, I want to hear your thoughts, Preston. But this is probably one of the funnest games I've played. And that's just playing the game itself. Preston, what do you think?
Yeah, I completely agree with everything you said. There's a ton of variety. I love all the different Keyblades in terms of transformations and stuff, and I like that you can upgrade the older Keyblades to be good. So just like in the past Kingdom Hearts games, or at least the ones I played, you like immediately got rid of the Kingdom Key and were just kind of using the newer ones, and they really didn't do anything differently. You're still just swinging them like any other Keyblade. So I really like that if you like an older or one you got near the beginning of the game, you can still continue to upgrade it and use it throughout the game. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I always like the look of the classic Keyblade. I think I might do a playthrough just using that one, just because I can. But
have you seen the Ultima yet?
I haven't. No.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool.
Yeah. Have you compared it to the old ones?
I only remember from Kingdom Hearts 1 because I got it in that one. I don't know what the other ones look like. This one's like red and black though, so it looks super cool. That's actually my my biggest criticism of the game is that I enjoyed the combat so much. I wish the game would just shut up and just let me fight things.
Yeah.
Because the entire first 20 hours of the game, I don't want to say I had to kind of force myself to play, but I was getting extremely irritated with the the kind of the way the game was kind of just playing out. It's like I would just go through a very short set of rooms, kill things, and then a cutscene. And then I would kill a room, cutscene, kill a room, cutscene.
There are a lot of cutscenes, Garrett.
Yeah,
so prepare yourself if you do play.
Oh, I've heard.
I don't know. I don't know what.
I'm trying to mentally prepare myself for that.
I don't know what.
Might as well just have a bowl of popcorn next
going
to
on either. I've watched a few more like retrospectives and stuff, and I watched a hilarious one last night. I listened to it while I was in the car. It's called A Good Enough Summary of Kingdom Hearts. Highly recommend it. It actually explains stuff that I had not even heard about. Shards, like there being 7 light shards and 13 dark shards.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't even know about
like
this.
The crafting materials?
No, yeah, to make the key blade, like the X blade.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's like what Organization 13 is that they're the 13 dark parts, and then the 7 good dudes are the 7 good parts, and you have to mix those together to make that ultimate Keyblade.
Yeah, okay, I knew that. I thought we were like talking about like crafting itself.
Well, see, I've watched all these other retrospectives, and nobody ever talked about that. So this is the first I'd heard of that, but it's like 30 minutes long. It's done in a really hilarious way. Like he has crappy animations to go with it, but really informative. So that actually has kind of helped me a lot.
Did you try watching the 5 things that are in the game?
5 things that are
There's like 5 little videos, the same ones I was talking about last week. I watched like
2, but then I was just like, I'm ready to play, so I jumped in. But from what I heard, they're just okay.
Yeah. But they do like a good job of like briefly summarizing what you need to know, I think.
I'm good with that now, but it's just like I would get to the Disney worlds and I just wouldn't care about their story.
Sure.
If that makes sense. It's just, so it's like I didn't care. So I went to Rapunzel's world first.
Okay.
Wasn't impressed.
I think that one's probably one of my least favorites.
You're just going through woods, fighting things, and then cutscenes every 5 minutes.
I mean, I think it looked nice. Like, I enjoyed like the tower itself.
The boss was whatever. And I'm still like, okay, whatever. And I hate to say it, dude, but I did not even care for Toy Story World.
What?
I was
Toy
just
Story
like,
World was fun.
Buzz Lightyear annoyed the snot out of me. It was like he would be like, I trust you now, but now I don't trust you. But now I trust you, but now I don't trust you. And I was like, all right, dude, well, whatever.
Well, that's Buzz, man. You know,
I know, but it was just like, again, it's like, just let me fight. And the toy store you're in is so effing big, but there's like nothing to do in it.
Yeah.
But I know it has to be big for like the mech stuff. But again, it's just like there were cutscene after cutscene. So Monsters Inc., I felt the exact same way. It was so like short. I don't know. I felt like the worlds were so short, and I was kind of just a little disappointed. Then I went to Frozen, and you go through this ice dungeon, and I was like, yes, this is what I want. Give me more of this. Give me a dungeon to go through and fight stuff. So I was really into that. I overall really, really liked Frozen a ton. It felt way longer than the other ones. It had a dungeon you went through. It had more gameplay segments. It had like cinematic moments that you interacted with. Yeah. I thought the boss fight was really cool at the end.
I love that boss fight.
Yeah. So from that world on, I was like, okay, I'm into this. Big Hero 6. I thought that was a fantastic world. I'm really digging Pirates of the Caribbean
Pirates
now.
Great, yeah.
So
I would say like the last chunk of worlds are probably some of the best. I did really enjoy the Olympus world too. I thought that was a good start.
Yeah, I thought that was a good start too. But after
it had good like set piece moments, but it also had a lot of cutscenes, like you're saying.
After that, with the cutscenes and just me unfortunately not liking Toy Story, Monsters Inc., and Corona too much, I was a little bummed. But once I hit Frozen, I was like, okay, I'm really enjoying this now. So, and I know I hate to say like, man, just wait until you're like 20 hours in and then it gets really good. But that's just how I feel. But honestly, I'm not a huge Kingdom Hearts dude. So I'm playing this game just for like the cool stuff and the fun gameplay. So
and seeing the Disney stuff and whatnot. Yeah.
So that's my fault that because this is when I was like thinking back to the previous Kingdom Hearts games, I was like, oh yeah, this is just how they are. Yeah. So that's my issue, but
it's kind of just like the formula that the series has always kind of followed.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like sitting here wondering because I'm like 22 hours in. I've done all the Disney worlds now. I'm wondering like, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, you go back to them and you do something else. So I'm wondering if there's going to be like a system in this game where you have a reason to go back to them. Because I feel like, you spend maybe 3-4 hours maybe in these worlds, and then you leave, and I haven't had a reason to go back yet.
Yeah, I know there's...
Besides like getting collectibles or whatnot.
I know there's collectibles that you have to go get, and I know there are these flan challenges. Mm-hmm. Have you done those?
No.
There's this...
Wait, I think I've done one.
A piece of flan, like the dessert.
Yeah.
And,
I've done a couple.
He poops out of the ground. Like you go back to the worlds to do those. You actually have to do
one in Monsters Inc. and like he was like bouncing around. If he touches you, you have to start over.
Yeah, every single one is completely different. Different challenges, but I know you have to get the high score in all of them to get a piece of crafting material as a part of the Ultima Blade.
Gotcha.
So if you want the Ultima Blade, you are going to have to get the high score in all of those, which is a lot less daunting than it sounds. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure there are like optional bosses and stuff, probably. In the
yeah, it's hard to say. Like I'm only 20 hours in, so
yeah.
I was hoping to be done, but I just didn't have time. Like I didn't have enough time to really play the game exhaustively this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it a lot. I mean, it's almost a whole day of playing, which is solid, but life has its ways. I'm trying to think of the game looks absolutely gorgeous. It's like, they literally like recreated a lot of the scenes out of these movies, and like, it's crazy seeing like how like it looks like the movie, like honestly. I was also pretty surprised at the Frozen world where they literally played the whole song of Let It Go, the entire song. I got a good kick out of that. And then they also played another song in the Frozen world.
Thankfully they didn't play that whole... Dude, that was what I told Garrett about that last night. That was one of the cringiest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Mm-hmm. Like, I had to squeeze my butt cheeks at the end of that thing. When
Wait, for the second song?
Yeah, it's... I'm not going to get into any spoiler details, but it's just Anna sings the end of the song just right next to Sora on the bench, and he's just staring at her, and I was just like, oh my god. Like this is too much for me right now.
Yeah, I feel you, man. But yeah, overall I'm really enjoying the game, especially since I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. This game not only means a lot to me, but it's just really important in terms of finishing the story out and seeing what happens in the end, because it's been an ongoing story for far too long and it's way too convoluted. It needs to be summed up in a, hopefully a clean and concise way as much as it can be. And then I've heard rumors that at the end there's not rumors, but there's things that lead on to perhaps a new Kingdom Hearts game. So we'll see where that goes. Hopefully it's not as convoluted as this story is, because my God. Even as a huge fan myself, I'm still sitting there at some points in this game and being like, what is happening? Like, this is like, there's this guy that's evil and now he's not. Like, it's making no sense in a lot of ways, and I'm struggling to put some parts of the story together. I don't know about you, Preston. I'm sure, Preston, you're feeling the same way to an even greater extent.
Definitely.
But that doesn't prevent me from really enjoying the game, because I care about so many of these characters and their journeys in this game. So I'm still pretty pumped to be streaming it next week, and hopefully I can finish it before I go on my trip. That's the plan right now.
Where are you headed?
I'm headed to Breckenridge, Colorado, with a couple friends. It's for
that's right.
Yeah, it's like a bachelor party, but I think there's only 3 of us.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just like a little trip. Mm-hmm. And it's just a chance for me to, go see other parts of the world.
For sure.
Because I haven't been that far west.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm prepared to bust my ass several times, because I'm going to be snowboarding for the first time. Mm-hmm. We'll see how that goes. I might come back with a broken wrist. We'll see. Hopefully not. But I'm excited for, just see if I can do it and just see what Colorado's like. We're going to be in Denver a little bit too. So
you're going to be shredding the flakes then on a board.
Oh, yeah.
Exciting.
Or shredding the flakes on my ass.
Yeah, you have to document some of that. I'd like to see it.
Yeah,
I've got to go snowboarding myself. I'm really eager to. I think I'd be half decent at it.
Yeah.
So one of these days.
Maybe we could go sometime in Georgia. There's some
In Georgia?
Yeah, there's places up north in
Like
Georgia.
fake snow or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we can go in like North Carolina or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anything else from Kingdom Hearts you guys have to say? I'm going to play it eventually. I don't know if I'll play it tonight or...
Yeah, so you haven't played any.
I have not played any.
Gotcha. I thought I saw you online. I thought I saw you playing.
It turned on by itself when I downloaded it, but I was working at the time, so I just shut it off.
Gotcha.
But,
Okay.
Garrett, you should just play through Final Fantasy 15 again. It's a better game.
you know, I think I should.
Whoa.
I think that's a really great point. Not only that, I think I'll go for the platinum while I'm at it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, yeah, you've convinced me, man. That encouragement alone has talked me into doing it. So, forget Kingdom Hearts. I'm going to 15.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I mean, I think you should play 15.
Yeah, I mean, I did play it. I finished it. I didn't get
Did you?
everything. I did. Yeah.
Wait, no, you didn't.
No, yes, I did. I blew through it in like 5 seconds. I ended on like level 32 and barely beat the final boss because I had to like hack and slash him for 40 minutes till he died.
Oh yeah, you did finish. You just weren't impressed with it.
Yeah,
that was your whole thing.
I thought it was just
yeah.
fine, but I mean,
Okay.
I thought the story was cool. I mean, I thought it was a nice ending.
Okay.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, for some reason, I just thought you hadn't finished it.
Nope,
It had
I
been
did.
so long since we talked
I just
about it.
followed the main narrative. I didn't do any of the side stuff. So,
All right,
I mean, the
let's
side
stop,
stuff wasn't great.
let's stop talking crap about a great game. But I played a lot more Resident Evil 2 this week as well.
A lot more. How much more can you play, Preston?
I played about 4 more playthroughs this week. I got all the achievements on Steam, so I guess I platinumed it in a sense.
Nice.
So,
Were they tough?
kinda. Not like super tough. Probably the hardest ones were having to get S ranks with Claire and Leon's campaign, and then having to beat it on hardcore with Claire and Leon.
So tell me, like, how do you get an S rank?
It's purely time based. You have to beat the A campaign under 3.5 hours, or the B campaign under 3 hours. Or you can get an S plus ranking, which is beating it under 2.5 hours, I think. But I think you have to be on hardcore as well to get an S plus ranking. And doing that unlocks a unlimited... Oh yeah, I was completely wrong when I said there's no cool weapons. I was wrong. If you S plus rank with Leon, you get unlimited ammo rocket launcher. And if you S plus Claire, you get the unlimited ammo Gatling gun.
Oh, man.
So yes.
So did you have a playthrough with those?
No, I have not unlocked those yet. Getting a S plus rank on hardcore requires you to beat it under 2.5 hours and also using less than 3 saves. So
Yikes.
you really have to do some planning out and stuff. So I'm sure I will eventually get it, but I played the game so much getting all those achievements that I was just taking a little bit of a break from it to play some other stuff.
Gotcha.
So, but I definitely one day do want to go back and get those.
So overall, like, you've played pretty much every aspect of this game besides what you just talked about.
Yes.
What's like your like, which do you like playing as, Leon or Claire more? Which one do you think is better?
I like Leon primarily because of his weapons. I really like the shotgun and the lightning hawk a lot more than the SMG and the grenade launcher from Claire.
Yeah.
I do like Claire's B campaign with the revolver that she gets in that is pretty cool. But on the other hand, Leon gets a 1911 that he shoots sideways like a gangster, and it's
That's cool.
pretty sick too. So
So let me ask you this: like, if I played Leon first, does that mean I get Claire B?
yes,
Okay.
but if
if I
beat
played Claire first, then it's Leon B.
yeah, but if you beat the B campaign, you just automatically unlock the other B campaign as well.
Oh, okay.
So
Do you think it's like worth playing the other B campaign, or should I just like play a full playthrough of?
I think you at least need to play through the B campaign of whoever you unlock, just to see the true ending. And there's there's like a final boss fight at the end, and there's extra characters. I'm assuming you played through Leon first.
Yes.
Yeah, you get into different locations as Claire, completely different locations. You play as a completely different character. You see what the police chief is doing, all of this. And again, like I said, you see the true ending. So definitely it's worth playing through is that. But if you want to see everything, then I guess you would have to play through it 4 times with both Claire A and Leon A, and then Claire B, Leon B. But I would only recommend that as if you're like really, really enjoying the game and want to play it again. It's kind of cool to see Leon in Claire's place in the second run. You're still doing Leon stuff, but it's like a little bit out of order. But it's still kind of, I guess, a little interesting to see all the stuff that you had already played through as Leon, just in a slightly different way. But that was I was just playing the game so much and I couldn't get enough of it, so I was just playing through everything. Probably one of the hardest things was the Last Survivor, the mission that you play through as Hunk. You essentially start out in the sewer, and you just have to get back to the police station. And
is that like the agent guy?
Yeah.
It's like dressed in black.
Yeah. So you have a set amount of ammo, set amount of first aids and stuff, and you don't pick up anything, and you cannot kill there are so many zombies and stuff. It's absolutely insane. So you're essentially just running through your life. And a lot of people have had trouble on it. I beat it my second try.
Nice.
So I did at the very end, dude. You have to go through a section where there are like 1 billion zombies. One of those big things from the sewer is on land, and then a bunch of the Ivy guys all in one area, and you just have to kind of get through them. Yeah. And my second time, dude, I just luckily was able to just like slide through all of them without them touching me somehow. Like even I was playing it, I was like, holy crap, how did I do that? And I popped out the other side, and that was the end of the mission.
Do you have like ammo? Like
yeah. You have a Magnum, like an MP5, a shotgun,
an MP5?
handgun. Yeah, it's his exclusive weapon. If you beat the I think if you get S, I forgot, it's either S or I think it's S ranking on hardcore, you get the that gun unlimited ammo in the game. I think if you get S on standard, you get an unlimited ammo pistol, and S on hardcore, you get the SMG.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think that's all the weapons that he has, but it's pretty cool. Then once you beat that, you unlock the Tofu Survivor, which are just a big blob of tofu with a knife, and you just kind of go through the same thing. And then if you beat it on that, you unlock another tofu with like a different type of weapon. And then if you beat that,
is it literally a block of tofu?
Yeah, and you're just like running around, and you're like super jiggly, and when they bite you, they bite off a piece of the tofu.
Oh no.
So that's pretty cool.
And maybe the answer to keep the zombies from actually wanting to eat human beings is just feed them tofu.
Yeah.
It's a form of meat, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
It's a nice substitute, I guess, for the zombies.
But yeah, I'm insanely excited for the Ghost Survivors DLC coming out. I cannot wait for that to come out. I need more of this game so much. I really love it a lot. So I just want more reasons to go back and play it. But yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it a lot, man.
Thanks. You should play it more too.
I haven't played it since I beat Leon's campaign still, unfortunately. I also want to apologize. You can probably hear all sorts of noises on this episode because there's a gentleman mowing his lawn right outside the window where we record. So it's a little noisy. I'm sorry. But yeah, there he goes again. But yeah, Jacob, you should play that as soon as possible, man.
Yeah.
I know you got a little Kingdom Hearts left, don't you?
I got quite a bit, I'm assuming. I'm going to play Claire's campaign for sure. Like that's bare minimum what I'm going to do with that game. But I would like to check out what Preston was saying, like the escape with a Hunk or whatever his name is, and see the tofu and whatnot. But did you guys play anything else this week?
Yeah, I actually can talk about it now. For COD Connected, I was able to attend a Crackdown 3 preview event in San Francisco.
Ooh, traitor!
And,
traitor!
Traitor. Yeah, dude. I mean, I used the 1X I was playing on as a footstool naturally the entire time I was playing.
Oh, they let you put your feet on it?
Yeah. It's not a big deal, man. They understand. Okay. But I did play Crackdown 3, and I can share my impressions at long last. I do have written impressions on COG's website if you want to read them in depth. But I had a chance to interview Joseph Staten as well. He's the creative director of Microsoft Global Publishing. So we talked for a little bit, and he kind of filled me in on all things Crackdown 3. So basic gist, in case you didn't know, if you even care, is there's an open world campaign. You can play in co-op if you want, where you play as an agent. You have your super-powered abilities. You have an assortment of weapons, and it's sort of like a sandbox that's a non-linear story that kind of reacts to you going about wherever you want to go, and the story progresses based on what you're doing. Sort of like Breath of the Wild in that sense, where you can go to the final boss if you want, try to take him down. It'll probably be impossible, but you can try if you want. So it's kind of like that as far as the narrative structure is concerned, but you're just in this comic book inspired world with superpowers. You can blow stuff up and shoot bad guys, and it's like a sort of a checklist of things to do. There's different factions spread all over the city with multiple objectives to complete, and once you complete objectives, it collects intel on the boss of that area, and then you unlock the boss, defeat the boss, and through all this process you're just leveling up to face off with the final guy. And I kind of like, I think the biggest positives of Crackdown 3 for me are the fact that progression is completely tied to whatever you're doing. For example, if you want to increase the power of your firearms, you simply use weapons more. If you want your melee damage to be more impactful, you just melee more people. Same with driving and explosives. So it isn't like a skill tree where it's like, okay, I want to invest the skill points I have into this certain ability. It upgrades based on what you're doing. So I like that sense of freedom too, that not only can you go anywhere, anytime, the entire city's unlocked from the start, but the story progresses based on whatever you're doing, and that level of freedom's there with it all progressing based on just your actions simply. So that's kind of cool. I think in that sense, I admire it, but mechanically the game is surprisingly clunky to me. And I don't mean clunky in a way that it's unplayable. I mean, it runs fine. It ran at a steady, I think it was 30 frames on Xbox One X. It was running in 60 on PC behind me, and it looked pretty smooth, but yeah, full 4K at 30 frames a second was fine. I mean, it runs well. Graphically, it's not gorgeous, but I think it suffices. And that 4K resolution obviously helps it, but anything below that, it doesn't look too impressive. But yeah, mechanically speaking, it feels a bit clunky. Like driving feels a bit weird. It just feels stiff. There's a very strict lock-on function to firing weapons, which is obviously similar to Red Dead or there's a few other titles out there that have a lock-on function. You can disable it in Red Dead, obviously. I don't know if you can disable it in Crackdown, but it almost feels like it's necessary, because not only is aiming your weapon and just moving in general kind of clunky, but you're flying around at like high speeds and huge heights at all times. Without that lock-on function, I feel like it'd be nearly impossible to shoot people. Sure. But because of that, I never really found any satisfaction in killing enemies at all. I mean, it's fun to run around like a madman and throwing vehicles and they're exploding, or punching a guy off a building, or shotgunning a bunch of guys. But when I'm locking onto them and it's essentially obviously aiming for me, I don't really feel like I'm doing anything that cool. So that kind of bummed me out a bit. The open world itself looks fine. It's just a futuristic city on an island surrounded. It's like built around this giant volcano that's active, so that's kind of cool. The dialogue's kind of funny, like the narrator talking to you, or not the narrator, but like the commander of the agency's talking to you, and there's funny quips back and forth.
Wait a minute. So there's a city built around an active volcano?
There is.
Okay.
It's a comic book inspired world, so you can do whatever you want. But yeah, the big bad's called the Terra Nova Corporation, and they have all their like logistics and business and all these different factions around the city collecting resources to fuel their mysterious plan, whatever it may be. Probably has something to do with the volcano. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, you're just an agent going out there taking out the bad guys. So I will say for a solid 30-minute stretch, I kind of had fun. Just the loop of, here's a car garage full of armored vehicles you need to blow up. You have to scale this giant building and disable all the batteries powering the shield, kill all the bad guys. It opens up the garage and you blow up all the vehicles. I do an objective like that. And the next one be free these prisoners from this little faction of enemies in this little camp here built in the city. You can free some innocent people. There's a couple random ones for driving if you want to increase your driving abilities, where you can do little races. But I was immediately turned off by the races because they're really sharp turns through different narrow crevices and stuff in the city. And like I said, it already feels clunky to drive, so I gave up on that pretty quickly. But it's cool too. You can upgrade your car to become like a little spider that can scale buildings, so that's kind of cool.
So there's wall running.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, and
just like Kingdom Hearts 3.
Totally. But you use a car, so it's wall driving, I'd say. It's kind of like Batman in Batman Forever, where he shoots his grapple hook from the Batmobile up to the building and drives up the side. It's a good scene. Yeah. Great movie, I might add. I loved it as a kid. What else in the campaign am I forgetting? That's pretty much the gist of the campaign.
You forgot to talk about the revolutionary BR mode that's coming.
BR mode.
Yeah, to Crackdown 3.
There's a battle royale mode.
No, it's a bad joke.
First news I've heard of it. This come out yesterday, but yeah, campaign wise, that's pretty much the gist of the campaign. I don't know how long I would actually enjoy doing those things because, like I said, I think I had my fill with like the hour I spent with it, and even by the end of the hour, when I had more time to play, even then, I think I was already done. Like I just wanted to stop. But in addition to that, we got to play the competitive multiplayer mode called Wrecking Zone. And I kept wanting to call it Wrecking Ball for some reason, but it's called Wrecking Zone. And this is where the cloud-powered destruction comes into play, which I had heard about, I think, a year or two ago. They're doing destruction demos for Crackdown 3. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. I thought the whole campaign would have destruction like that, but it's reserved exclusively for the multiplayer mode.
Okay.
So you go in, there's 3 maps, and there are 2 game modes. There's like a moon-based map. There's one called Hall of Heroes where there's like these giant statues surrounding you. It's like the agency's like museum of past heroes and stuff. There's one other map I haven't heard about yet. But the 2 game modes are called Agent Killer, which is basically kill confirmed from Call of Duty. And there's one other mode called Territories, which I assume is like domination or something. But we played Agent Killer, and I played for about 45 minutes on one map called, like I said, Hall of Heroes. And it's 5 against 5, and you all spawn, and all it is you have a primary weapon and like an explosive weapon. There's like different options you can choose. And you fly out there with fully powered agents and can fly through buildings, and they'll break apart, and you can throw explosives, and statues will fall, and everything is completely physics-based and destructive, and it's cool to behold. Like when it's running smoothly, it looks cool, and it feels good to just chase after someone and bust through a wall and shoot them. Yeah. But again, the lock-on feature is there, so all you're doing is just taking turns locking onto each other, shooting. Now, I think where the competitive side comes in more than just shooting each other is determining how you can use destruction to your advantage, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So if you blow up a bridge someone is on and they fall, I mean, granted, they can lock onto you and shoot while they're falling, but you can think about it that way. If I blow up this building or this statue or this bridge, it may hinder whatever someone's trying to do over here. So it's kind of cool. There's also this like streamline that if you lock onto someone and you're shooting, they disappear behind like a building or something. That line keeps up with them for a certain amount of time, so you can kind of follow where they're going. Yeah. Which I guess works, but again, the lock-on thing just really isn't for me. Now, for long-time Crackdown fans, they may be something they're used to, and they may love that. Yeah. But for me, coming into Crackdown, for the most part, brand new, didn't really like it too much. But
I feel you.
I did have fun. I won most of the matches with the team I was on, which is cool. But again, really cool, like cool ideas. Runs well. It's humorous. It kept me entertained for, I'd say, about a solid 45 minutes. But there's nothing particularly amazing that stood out to me at all. So yeah, I don't know how to feel about it. I think I'm going to wind up playing the full game maybe for COG. I'll share more details about that later if it happens. But and I'm not trying to trash the game either. I'm just giving my honest opinion.
Yeah, you're being honest. Yeah, that's fine.
But regardless, I was thankful for the opportunity. Anytime I get to go see a game early, it's awesome. Whether it sucks or it's amazing, it's just really cool. And getting to meet Joseph for the first time, it was funny too because I was researching Crackdown a bit prior to going to the event, so I had an idea of what I was getting into. And I saw multiple interviews with Joseph Staten, and he was the first guy I saw at this event because it was weird how this Microsoft lounge was just housed on the side of this building in San Francisco. This just a gray door. You walk in, it looks like you're going to walk into like a mafia hideout or something, but you walk in, it's like this beautiful facility. So I'm standing there on the street wondering if I'm even in the right place, and all of a sudden I see Joseph Staten walking down the sidewalk right up to me. I'm like, you look familiar. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm Joseph. I'm like, I'm Garrett. I'm from this outlet, blah, 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 blah. He's like, cool, let's go in. So he was my ticket through the door, which is nice. Nice. And I was indeed in the right place. But yeah, super nice guy. Everyone I interacted there was cool, and it was an awesome opportunity. So yeah, Crackdown is coming February 15th. I think first to Game Pass, you can play Wrecking Zone as well. That's a detail I could share. So if you have Game Pass, you should try it out and find out for yourself how you feel about it.
There you go.
Yeah, that is... believe it or not, other than I think maybe 5 minutes I spent with Anthem at Preston's yesterday, the only game I played this week.
Yeah, I played about 6 hours in the demo.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say I completely forgot I had played that, and I saw that you
I
had
almost
played it
forgot
as well.
today.
Yeah, it's fun. I leveled up to 12, unlocked the Storm Javelin, which is the one I really wanted to try. Mm-hmm. Holy crap. Particle effects with the Storm is... Like
they purdy.
So when the first like abilities you have when you go out before you change anything, you have these frost shots. Then you also can call down thunder. Yeah, and you can combo those. Like you can shoot frost out of your hand. You freeze the enemies, and you call down thunder, and they just annihilate them. It is so satisfying. But I was having a lot of fun with that, and I wanted to mix it up, try out like some of the fire and stuff. I wasn't impressed with like some of the fire abilities. I don't know, they just didn't feel as satisfying.
That's the only one that I had.
Oh, the fire?
Or that's the one that I had equipped or whatever. I had the ice shots in the fire.
Gotcha. Yeah. But I think like the storm was like, it's just a fun javelin. You can't take a lot of damage. That's the only thing. We were playing on stream last night. We did one of the, or I guess the only stronghold that was available, and we did it on hard, and it was kind of difficult to, and I think I was under geared too, so it was difficult to like, you know, do a lot of damage and also not die at the same time, because you kind of have to like I feel like the storm's kind of like at home, but when it's just kind of levitating and, you know, fooling around just shooting enemies with its abilities, and I kept like finding myself having to like cower behind rocks and shit because I was taking too much damage. But I think the game is very fun overall. I've said this several times, like on stream, and I also tweeted it, I think, but I like fear for it's like player base. Like, are they going to stick around? Is there going to be enough in-game content to keep people happy in this game? I'm not really sure. I've heard rumors that there's like going to be 3 strongholds. I think that's what they're called. It's like an equivalent to a Destiny Strike, but a little like longer or more difficult, I guess. And then, like, other than that, there's like all the customization you can do with the javelins and whatnot, and all the microtransactions on top of that. I just don't know if, you know, this game's gonna have legs necessarily, because there's no PvP either. So, I mean, I think like the initial like leveling up experience is gonna be a ton of fun. Maybe not story wise, because I don't know how that's gonna be, but just playing the game is, I think BioWare nailed just how this game feels and how fun it is to just annihilate enemies. And I like the whole, like, I think it's cool like to have a group of javelins. If you can, like, ideally you want to be playing this game with 3 other friends, and like ideally you want to have like one of each javelin, just to see like how you can kind of mix and match and, you know, combo with your friends. And I think there's a lot of depth there, but it definitely doesn't seem like a game that you want to play by yourself with no matchmaking. Those are basically my thoughts. You guys have anything to add? And it looks gorgeous too, by the way.
Yeah, I played about 10 minutes. I flew around and shot stuff for about 5, and the game crashed. And if I never got to play it again, I think I'd be okay, if I'm being honest. I wasn't even bored. I'm like, this looks really pretty. That's cool. You can do this. You can do that. But I mean, it felt and looked exactly like I expected it to based on everything I'd heard. So. Yeah. I'm not really interested myself, but I'm not trying to trash it. It just doesn't appeal to me.
I never had it crashed, and the second I let Garrett play, it crashed in like 5 minutes.
That's what happens when I get around technology, man. Is I fight every day to make it work for me.
But yeah, I agree with you, Jacob. It's fun. I really liked the Storm I played as. I don't know anybody who's gonna pick the normal javelin. He just seems so plain compared to the other ones.
Yeah, no, I mean, I have to start with him, so I guess I'll be playing him.
But yeah, it's fine. I don't know if I want to buy it yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to. There's going to be like a dead period, you know, in a couple weeks. I'll be done with Kingdom Hearts, probably Resident Evil 2 as well. So I think I'm going to pick it up and give it a chance.
Yeah, I'll see. I'll be interested to hear what people are saying once the game actually comes out, and if enough people pick it up, I might follow suit.
I wish I could have tried the Colossus. I did in the alpha, and I liked it there, but I didn't like get a whole lot of time with him because I think I was in my last hour of the alpha, so I like ran out of time. But
Garrett was playing as the other zippy one.
I think it's called Interceptor.
Is it Interceptor?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the melee based one.
Yeah. I didn't get to actually play as him, but I saw
Kyle
him
from our community was playing with me last night, and he was using the Interceptor, and it seems pretty agile, and you know, seems like a lot of fun.
Yeah, he looked cool. All the melee based stuff looked pretty cool. But I'm probably going to pre-order here this upcoming week the Division 2, so I can get in that private beta, because I'm gonna buy that game anyway, so I might as well just get it now and get in on that beta before this weekend.
Sure. You get a pre-order on PC?
Nah, dude, I'm gonna play it on my Xbox One S.
Nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah, that's my preferred way to play third-person shooters is on that thing. So
says no one.
Yeah, yeah. But anywho,
yeah, that's all I played.
That's all we played. Me and Garrett went and saw Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super. My bad, Brawly last night.
Nice.
Yeah, before we talk about that, Bubba Fett wrote in and asks, have you guys watched Dragon Ball Z? If so, have you seen the new Dragon Ball Project Z trailer? Also, I don't remember if you talked about it, but what about the Avengers project? We'll get to that in a minute, but Bubba Fett, the three of us I know have been longtime DBZ fans, and yeah, just as Preston said, we went and saw Dragon Ball Super Broly last night. You want to talk about it first, Preston?
Sure. It was cool.
It was cool, man. I really liked it a lot. I mean, I fell asleep for part of it because I was so exhausted yesterday, but I saw most of the battle between, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly at the end. And I mean, there's some rough spots of animation in there, but for the most part, it was just a really beautiful film to watch. And seeing it on the big screen was awesome, and just loved all the, as usual with the DBZ movies, especially. I mean, obviously this is Super, but how the characters interact and the dialogue, I think, is hilarious. And love the blend of humor, and there's some drama in there, and just really fantastic action like you'd expect, and really cool resolution too, bringing Broly in as official canon now. I like the way it wrapped up.
Yeah.
So I think going forward, Preston and I were talking, I think it'd be cool just to see movies from now on if they just put all their eggs in one basket with the movies and just avoid the TV show going forward. I think at least for a while, and see how it goes.
Do you think it would be better that way? Like, do you think the movie's better than?
I think the three movies we've had in the past however many years it's been have been better than Super overall, from what I've seen and what Preston's told me.
The actual tournament arc of Super is fantastic, with like the fight with the all the universes. That's really good. It's just all the there's so much filler, it's obscene. So that's why I would be cool with a movie just to bypass all that crap. But yeah, there's like Garrett said, with everything being canon now with Brawly for the first time, and seeing the first part of the movie actually takes place on planet Vegeta when Frieza comes in and kind of enslaves planet Vegeta, and it shows Goku's dad sent him off, and shows how Brawly gets off of the planet and everything, and sets up everything before the present timeline and DBZ. So that was really cool to see. And yeah, like Garrett said, there's a surprising amount of. I know Dragon Ball Z always has humor, but there was one, I don't want to spoil it, but there was one joke that honestly surprised me. In the sense of the reason,
like it was offensive.
No, it was just like the reason why two different people wanted to get the Dragon Balls was like a literal joke, and I thought that it was. I thought they were gonna like actually say the real reason why they wanted the Dragon Balls, but it was. I think it was actually a joke why they wanted the Dragon Balls, and I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, to be as vague as possible and to make sense. That's all I can really say without spoiling anything. But yeah, I thought it was a good time.
If you're into green alien ass, by the way, you'll get plenty of it in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know what the fan service was, but there's this new alien. I forgot her name, but there was just one part of the movie where they just kept showing her ass for some reason. I'm like, this is like a 3 foot green alien girl. Like, why are you showing me her ass?
Was she thick?
No,
not really.
Not at all.
No.
So I was a little confused by that, because it's like literally at one point in the movie they were like, oh man, like we completely forgot to show this alien's ass the entire movie, so let's do it really quick in this scene for a while. So that made no sense, but yeah, I agree with
solid flick overall. Yeah, I think there's just the final battle, and like you said, the historical aspect at the beginning was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, and I think it's already been spoiled, but Gogeta makes an appearance in this movie for the first time in actual canon. I know he has been in Dragon Ball GT, but this is the first time in the current line that Gogeta has made an appearance. So that was cool to see.
Yes, I second the notion.
And as far as Project Z goes, we actually talked about that on our way back from the movie. I'm very excited for that. I think that has a ton of potential. I'm excited to see that it's, I believe their CyberConnect is developing it, which they did a majority of the Naruto Ultimate Storm games, and they were current. This was my theory, and I hadn't read it anywhere. Like this is on my own thinkings, but I know that they were the developer that had been working on the Final Fantasy VII remake before Square Enix completely took it back over. So I have a thought that they have all these like RPG ideas and assets from the Final Fantasy VII remake, so they might be reusing those for the DBZ RPG, which would be pretty cool.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
When do you think we see that Project Z?
Probably not for a while.
This year, man.
Is it this year?
Yeah, it's coming out this year.
I don't remember reading that.
Yeah, that's in the thing. It's coming out this year.
That's cool.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to see it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, in regard to the Avengers Project, Bubba, which I think you submitted a question a week or two. I remember telling everyone my mom calls me Bubba. But Avengers Project, I think we're just waiting to hear more at this point. So we have talked about it a fair amount in the past, especially when like Avengers came out and stuff. We're like, oh yeah, that game's supposed to be in development. So whenever Crystal Dynamics finally reveals to the world what exactly it is, we'll know. We'll definitely talk about it then. But thanks for your question, man. That brings us to the news if you guys are ready to jump in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, this is the It's Obvious podcast, the show where my two best friends and I get together every single week to discuss video games. Obviously, you can find all of our content, including the video version of this podcast, over at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. If YouTube isn't good for you, or you'd like to take us on the go, you can find this podcast weekly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Audio Boom, and other podcasting services. Please check the description down below for links to our social media pages, our Discord channel, PlayStation community, PSN name, pretty much everything you would ever need to get in contact with us. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel and be sure to like and comment down below to get involved with the It's Obvious community. Doing so helps us out tremendously, and we would forever be in your debt. With all that out of the way, hey man, what's the news?
Well, we were talking about Resident Evil 2 just a short while ago, and speaking of which, we are getting the Ghost Survivors DLC on the 15th, which follows a handful of the survivors from the game. I think a few of what you encounter that never made it out of Raccoon City, and they're sort of what if stories of following people that you meet or whatever. It says, in Time to Mourn, players will are cast as the gun shop owner, and Runaway they'll play as the mayor's daughter, and Forgotten Soldier places them in the boots of a soldier.
Ooh.
So should be cool, and I think it's free too, so it'll be fun to experience that in addition to all the other stuff you can do in the game.
Oh yeah.
So that's pretty cool, man. I dig that.
I'm loving this DLC.
Yeah.
Pumping out.
How you feel about that, Preston?
Oh, you already know I'm all about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be playing it day one.
You think he'll play all of the campaigns for each of them at least 10 times?
Probably. I'm assuming they're not going to be long. Probably like 30, maybe 30 minutes apiece.
Yeah,
but I'm interested.
People probably speedrun it in 5.
Yeah, maybe. But I'm most interested in the mayor's daughter story because that was one of the, and I've done all of the optional board things in the game. Like I found all the articles and like all the collectibles that you can find. And unless I'm just stupid and completely glossed over something, I could not find anything about the daughter that you find in Claire's campaign. You find the mayor's daughter. But she's unconscious and eventually, well, I'm not gonna, you find her, but I can't find anything about her at all. Besides one piece of lore that kind of relates her back to the police chief. So I think he may have, kidnapped her or something, but, I'm most interested to kind of figure out what her deal is. But the gun shop owner sounds cool. And then just the random soldier, of course, sounds cool too.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited about that. But I actually have a hilarious article to read from Tyler McDonald of COD Connected that has to do with Resident Evil's player stats.
Okay.
And I think it's going to bring to light some funny stuff people have been doing in the game.
Okay.
Most of which I can't relate to, but it really enlightened me when I was reading through this.
You got me excited now.
So he says, although it has only been out for a week, Resident Evil 2 players are racking up crazy numbers. As of now, ResidentEvil.net states that 2019 years of the game have been played in the 6 days following the release. 71,000 kilometers have been traveled and 219,000 enemies have been killed. Players have also fired tons of bullets, with the total weight of them all adding up to over 65,000 pounds, or tons. Not only that, some players are using their knives to take down baddies. Over 28 million zombies and other enemies have been killed with just a knife. Probably the strangest stat is how often fans are opening the morgue locker and discovering a large collection of cockroaches. Specifically, this has happened over 197 million times. Another strange stat is how many times players have stared at the corpse of the mayor's daughter. Spoiler alert, I'm sorry. 29% of players took a long, hard look, apparently.
Oh, I just tried to not spoil that a second ago.
I know, I'm sorry, guys, but that's just a funny thing to hear.
That's a very, very, like, minor thing. It's not even a part of the story. It's just she's just there.
She's like, oh, she's there.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
But, yeah, apparently a lot of people have just been staring at her for a while. So it's funny how they can track all those stats, but I thought that was pretty good.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's nothing in particular I've really done in the game that would probably warrant a particular stat. But I can definitely relate in some places. I probably have a stat in Spider-Man for just staring at the textures on his suit in photo mode for too long. Just admiring them. Speaking of which, Spider-Man PS4 was updated with the bombastic Bagman suit and Future Foundation, which we had assumed were coming to the game after Insomniac's tease of the Fantastic Four DLC. So it's not really DLC, but it's just a cool little suit add-ons. More suits that are taking away from future sequels that they can't put in those games. I mean, if you put them in, that's cool, I guess, but I feel like they've packed quite a few into just the first game.
They got to be original now.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that either. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we'll get Tom Holland's new suits, I'd say plural, in the next movie and the next game probably. Yeah. That's something we can look forward to. I'd like to see, they've held off on both Andrew Garfield's suits could show up at some point. But I hope they reserve as many as possible for the sequels to be more exciting that way. But yeah, Future Foundation especially, man, that suit is badass. The white and black, looks beautiful.
Yeah. You don't like the bag one?
It's fine. I mean, it doesn't do anything for me, but it's funny that it's in there. So if I was going to wear a weird suit in the game, I'd probably just roll with the undies.
Do you think you'll go back and like put these suits on just to swing around, or like?
I mean, I'm sure one day when I'm like, I kind of want to swing around for 5 minutes in Spider-Man, I'll throw them on. Yeah. But yeah, that is cool.
Is it like just automatically downloaded to the game? Like when you boot it up,
I think it just comes in like a free update. I would assume when the game updates, you have the suits.
Gotcha.
So. What else do we have in here? Metro Exodus, this is kind of a big story, is officially coming to the Epic Games Store exclusively. This comes from Ben Kochera of Polygon. And some people may laugh that I got this from Polygon. It was the first link that came up when I Googled this. He says, and he does a good job with this article too, he says, Metro Exodus will be released exclusively on the Epic Games Store on February 15th. Publisher Deep Silver and storefront owner Epic Games announced Monday. The game will launch for $49.99 in North America and $59.99 in most European countries. Ooh. This means that Windows PC customers will not be able to buy Metro Exodus through Steam at launch, despite the game's listing on Steam advertising pre-orders. And they chime in and say, quote, anytime or any customer with an outstanding pre-order for Metro Exodus on PC through any digital retailer will receive their game as expected, the announcement states. And it says 88% of sale price goes to the developers on Epic, which is one of the main reasons, obviously, they're going with Epic. So, and Preston, you also mentioned, you read a lot of particular comments relating to this. I thought you could kind of fill us in on those and how people are reacting.
It's every single video I watch for Metro. It's people saying no Steam, no buy. And it's not like a minority. It's like 99% of the comments are people absolutely busting their head over this. And I don't know if I'm stupid or not. I just do not see a big deal in the slightest. This game not being on Steam is not even close to going to keep me from playing a game that I've been waiting to play. Like, I do not understand it at all. There's people like, well, I can't wait to crack this game and torrent this game and stuff. It's just, it's ridiculous, dude. Like, I do not get this stupid, pointless outrage. Like, it's yeah, I don't even have anything else to say. I think if you're so, like, mortified that this game is just, you have to waste 5 minutes of your life to download another launcher. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. I wish somebody could reasonably, like, explain to me why like it's a mess. I've seen some people say that like the Epic launcher has like privacy issues or something, and maybe, but I'm pretty sure that you can
it's new too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they just launched it. It's going to slowly, you know, hopefully, and introduced a lot of the features that Steam has, but it's not there yet. There's no problem with that though. You're like, I don't see any like huge, like glaring problems on Epic's game.
It's just like I want to play Metro. So if I have to download something, just another thing to play it, like that just does not bother me in the slightest. I could care less if I'm like playing it off of like just I couldn't even think of anything to say, but just just anything. Like I want to play Metro. I don't care where I get it from.
Yeah, and putting myself in the place of in the place of the developers, I can understand why they'd want obviously the extra revenue, and I appreciate the fact that they openly express that they intend to allocate all those extra funds back into the game for future content or tweaks or whatever they need to do. And I imagine most developers are genuine about that when they say that they can actually use the extra revenue and they don't have to charge as much for, say, DLC or microtransactions for whatever reason. So
they're literally giving a discount on the game in North America because it's on Epic Game Store.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, and Preston, you even mentioned that there is a way to add non-Steam games to your Steam library. Just when you click on it, it opens whatever launcher it resides in. So if it's even as simple as someone just wanting it to appear on their list with, say, Metro 1 and 2 in their Steam library, you can do that. So,
yeah.
And again, I mean, I'm not totally familiar with Epic Games Store. I haven't used it yet, but I can understand why people might have some concerns about that. But I think overall, I think it's a positive thing.
Yeah, I'm not one of these people that are like, oh, I only want one game store on my PC. I don't like all these launchers. Like I don't really feel like it's a big deal. It's like I have them all down on my taskbar, like when I need them. You know, it's not a big thing. I mean, like like not having like one friends list is kind of annoying sometimes, but it's not like a huge deal. Like, you know, come on. I mean, it's smart for these companies to make their own launchers and stores and whatnot.
Yeah, well, you guys tell me how you feel about this. Sorry, I can't speak. Palbam Zing writes in and says, "Hey guys, as if you didn't have enough questions this week, here's an issue that definitely disturbed me a bit. Epic is starting a store platform, which we all know, but apparently it's not going to have user reviews. This is a huge shock and issue to me, as Steam reviews have saved me from buying a terrible game. I am all for competition and was excited about Epic opening a store, but this may prevent me from supporting a platform that blinds its consumers from potential game issues in order to attract more developers."
Yeah, how do you
guys feel about that?
That's probably a pretty big problem. I think you should have reviews on your store.
There are many people that, and I would even say users that in the past I've read who have submitted really strong reviews. And I'm not saying everyone should rely on the media's reviews, because that's just silly. But I mean, I trust Preston's impressions of a game more than I would trust most media outlets. Sure. So I also appreciate user reviews, specifically from my own friends who I trust, and I know the three of us more or less have a lot of the same views and impressions towards many games. So thankfully we have each other if we were to play a game and share it with each other. But I can see why someone who would want someone else's opinion other than, say, IGN or GameSpot, or even COD Connected for that matter. I could see why someone would want a purely player-based review.
Yeah, this is my opinion, but I don't
again, there's I know it's cool to have it right there like Steam Review has, and I'm sure like if they're really going to get competitive with Steam, then they absolutely need to start adding in a lot of the systems that Steam has. But there are several sites that users review things on that you can go to as well.
You just go to a friend, or you go to like an influencer or something that you trust.
Yeah.
And I can see why it's hard to not just review bomb a game too. Doesn't Steam have something in place now to prevent people from review bombing games? Is that still an issue?
I'm not familiar with Steam that much.
But I could see why that could be a complication that arises when you're even considering implementing user-based reviews. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of places to look. But
yeah, if there's
I don't think it's like that big of a deal, but I can see why the concern is there.
Like 30 million people say the game is like a 1 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to like. Yeah, reviews are difficult to kind of gauge. Like that's why I like going to YouTube. Like if I want to know about a game, I go to a YouTube. I look for like a recent video that like talks about the game. That I kind of like base my opinion sometimes off that. It's it's fresh. It's new content. It's obviously someone made a video about this, so they're probably.
I'm really big into like you said, either friends or influencers that personally align myself with. I read some user reviews, but a lot of them are just people that are either insane fanboys or people that are just super pissed. Like, I think the Fallout 4 user review is awful, and there's so many like 1 out of 10. Like, say what you will about, I know there's the whole Fallout 4 debacle, but Fallout 4 is not a 1 out of 10. Like, I don't care who you are. Like, there's just a ton of that on just user sites like Metacritic user review and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway,
Well,
I would think that Epic Games would, or the Epic launcher would start to implement features like that.
Yeah, and you got to think that they hear this feedback too. So I'm sure it's only a matter of time before they start implementing a lot of these features.
I would hope so. We'll see.
As would I.
I'm going to buy everything on Steam for now. I mean, unless there's better deals. Like, I've been buying a lot of my Ubisoft stuff off Uplay because it's cheaper. I can get cheaper. Like, I got the Assassin's Creed cheaper off Green Man Gaming, and the code was for Uplay. So it's just like, well, I guess I'm just going to get this on Uplay.
So that's how I purchased Origins.
Yeah, so that's just how I go about stuff. If I have to download another launcher to get $10 off, then I'm fine with that. I don't need it in Steam that bad to pay more money. Or if I have to get another platform, then that's just whatever. I don't care.
Couldn't agree more.
Gentlemen, multiple outlets reported on a potential Titanfall Battle Royale coming very soon. And
this broke from one guy first.
Was it Schreier?
I believe it was Schreier.
No. Okay, because I have
Schreier did not break
here.
the story.
Okay.
It was a guy on Reddit, I believe, and then I watched his video on his channel. I don't know how he knew. I don't know how
he was like an esports player or something that mentioned it, right? I heard it was an esports.
I don't know exactly. I just know it's a YouTuber, I think.
Okay.
I do want to say really quick disclaimer since we were talking about Metro. I've been Googling it and looking, and there are still some people that are selling some Steam codes. So if you like really want it on Steam, I think if you look hard enough, you can probably still find some codes that work with Steam. Anyways, sorry.
That's wonderful. Where was I? So I have Schreier's article. He's bringing us the good news today. I won't read the whole thing. I'll try to put it into bullet points, but I'll read the first little chunk. He says a new Titanfall spinoff is in the works, and it'll be out sooner than anyone could possibly guess. In fact, internet rumors and word from our own sources suggest that it'll be out this Monday. The game isn't officially announced just yet, but word leaked out this morning thanks to esports journalist Rod Breslow, that guy. As Breslow reported today, it's called Apex Legends and will be out on Monday for PC, Xbox, and PS4. It's a free-to-play battle royale that, interestingly, won't let you use the Titan mech suits that make Titanfall so iconic. You'll have supernatural MOBA-like hero abilities and play either solo or in a team of 3 as you battle other players for delicious chicken dinners.
Oh boy. This got me excited.
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I love Titanfall's gameplay, man. I mean, mechanically, it's like one of the silkiest, smoothest shooters I've ever played in my life, so it just sounds like more battle royale fun to me. Mm-hmm. So Schreier chimes in with another thing. He says another interesting tidbit is that EA, when they purchased Titanfall developer Respawn in the fall of 2017, was a move forced by a Nexon bid for the studio that may have been directly connected to the closure of Visceral. I heard from a Respawn source that Titanfall 3 was well into development and that the studio had been looking to release it by the end of 2018. The rationale that the source said was that the game's underlying technology was starting to feel dated and that Titanfall 3 might not feel or look as good as it came out if it came out too much later. It says, like the previous 2 Titanfall games, Titanfall 3 used a modified version of Valve's Source engine. Perhaps the studio decided to switch engines for Titanfall 3, releasing Apex Legends, which was also reportedly on Source, as a stopgap as it pushed back the release of a proper third Titanfall game. Or perhaps the work Respawn has done for Titanfall 3 wound up evolving into this spin-off game. No matter what, the third Titanfall appears it is way down the road.
So the guy who broke the story, his channel's name is The Quartering.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, he put it on Reddit, on the Titanfall subreddit. And he actually contacted EA several times, or Respawn actually, and said he knew about this project and he like gave them a chance to, say if he was right or like if they wanted him to withhold information, but I don't think they replied to him.
Okay.
So he released everything. Loose, man. And then like, I don't know if you've heard of Slasher. He's like a big, he's kind of like Jason Schreier and like he's big on Twitter and he like breaks a lot of rumors and stories.
Yeah.
And then Schreier obviously picked it up and, it's blowing up since then. But yeah, I think this is a bold move for EA. I think.
Yeah.
I think it might be what they need.
Might be, yeah.
If it turns out to be a good thing, we'll see. Monday.
Watch this be more popular than Anthem by far.
Yeah, I mean, they're releasing pretty close together. It'll be interesting to see.
How much would it suck for BioWare if they totally get shafted by Respawn just for doing a battle royale?
That would be funny.
That would suck because Anthem doesn't have PvP, so this may be how people fill that void.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, these are probably two pretty different games.
Yeah, very, but still.
The slasher guy I just mentioned on Twitter, he said there's going to be a Super Bowl ad for this game. So I'll be watching tonight to see if it's there, and we'll see if it's a thing. But I mean, potentially if it's coming out Monday, I'm definitely going to give it a shot on Monday, see how it is. I hope it's good.
I think Schreier mentions in the latter half of that article I left out, he says he thinks that it may or may not be announced during the Super Bowl in like an ad. I think that'd be brilliant just to advertise the next potentially big battle royale for it being Titanfall. I mean, this could be the version of Titanfall that finally gets the recognition it deserves in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's free.
And revealing it at Super Bowl in an ad, like a really bombastic, exciting ad, and then saying it's out tomorrow, like free to play. I think that could really be a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's pretty bold to like not include the Titans. I feel like that's a pretty big part of the Titan universe or Titanfall universe. I know it's not called Titanfall; it's called, I guess, Apex Predator. Yeah, it's hard to really speak on it. We don't know much right now, but
I don't see how you can really do that in a battle royale mode. It's like whoever.
Yeah, it would be
whoever gets a
interesting.
Titan. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe like if everyone had a Titan. I don't know. You're right though. But yeah, I'm excited for the potential of this. Hopefully it runs better than the 20 hertz servers that Blackout has.
Yeah. It may, in fact, we may find out about it tonight. It is Super Bowl Sunday after all, and I wanted to predict while we're here on the podcast, because this will go live tomorrow morning. Who won Super Bowl? Is it 49? Which one is it?
50.
Oh, I was way off.
2 or 3.
It's Super Bowl 96.
Oh, that's right. Oh, we were way off, man. 96.
Pretty sure the Falcons lost Super Bowl 50.
Okay, who won the big trophy?
I think it's
the Patriots and who again?
The Rams.
Los Angeles Rams.
I think for the sake of Todd Gurley, I want the Rams to win.
That's who I'm rooting for, but I think
but
New England might win.
Sony Michel's on the Patriots.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who do you care about more?
I like Tud more. I've always liked Tud.
As a
Sony's my boy.
Big Todd Gurley fan I mean, I was a girly girl as well when he was playing, so
I was a chubby.
I certainly hope he wins
girl.
the Super Bowl. Now, if Sony Michel played for any other team, I'd root for them, of course. But the fact that it's the Patriots and they always win, and I don't mean anything against Edgar, our buddy, if you're listening to this episode. I know you're a huge Patriots fan. But for the sake of Tud and the Rams being definitely the underdog in this situation, I'm rooting for the Rams.
That's also who I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
You're
going to ram the ass of the Patriots.
I'm indifferent on who wins. I just hope either Sony or Todd Gurley get the MVP.
I mean, if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, there's no doubt that he's the greatest of all time. I mean, he's already the greatest of all time. But
I think the Patriots will win. I think they will win.
How do you go to the Super Bowl? What is this, like 4 years in a row or something?
It's impressive. It's like Alabama.
Jeez, man.
So Alabama going to the college Super Bowl every year.
Why can't my team go to the Super Bowl every year?
That'd be nice. I mean, the 1 year Falcons went, man, they really literally dropped the ball. So,
I had no idea, Garrett.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'll never forget your reaction to that game, man. It was heartbreaking. So
Anywho,
I've tasted heartbreak myself, so I know how you feel. Anyway, that sounds exciting, man. I hope it's as true as it seems to be.
Yeah.
Super Mario Movies update is upon us. This is a short little update, but an update nonetheless. Comes from Andrew Gilbert of COD Connected. He says, Furukawa stated that the film is, quote, moving along for an anticipated theatrical release around 2022. He also reaffirmed that Nintendo's focus will remain on gaming specifically, while exploring other avenues to bring their IPs to the attention of more people. So, yeah, it's happening. I think Illumination's still working on that movie, and I know the voice of Mario himself will be playing the role of Mario, of course.
How old is that guy now?
I don't know, but I hope they don't have him talking too much. And Mario's never been a conversation kind of guy. He just has quips and yelps and wahoos and stuff. Yeah. So I'm hoping they reserve it to that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm very interested to see how this plays out because I think it has a lot of potential, definitely.
Yeah.
And let's see if it has an emotional impact like Odyssey had on me. I mean, I straight up cried, man, at the end of New Donk City. So yeah, I'm excited about the potential of this because I really like Illumination as a studio, even though Preston says that Grinch kind of sucked. I think as a studio overall, they're excellent. So I'm interested to see how they do with a Nintendo property like this.
I think it has potential. I just don't see what that potential is. Like I want to be I want to be surprised and like really enjoy whatever it's going to be. But I feel like it's hard to make a Mario movie, you know? Like, what do you make it about? You just do Peach again? Like, oh, she's locked in the castle.
Yeah, who knows?
Like, what's this going to be about?
You have anything to say, Preston? I got to look something up real quick.
It's gonna be a real good time. Yeah, I wonder. Let's make a bet.
Okay.
Do you think that Mario's voice will reprise his role in the movie?
I think so. I mean, I could have sworn I read that originally.
Okay, well,
that's what we were just talking about.
Different bet then. Is Yoshi gonna be in it?
Oh, absolutely, man.
I think so.
Okay, a different bet.
I looked up what I needed to find, by the way. We don't have to fluff it anymore. Would there be mushrooms? Maybe.
Is that what you found?
I found what I needed, yeah. It's for the next story.
Oh, I thought you meant okay.
It has to do with the Batman update. And I'm mentioning this because I love Batman, of course. I don't know if you guys have any,
haven't heard anything
any
about
interest for this at all. So this comes from Mike Sassini of Den of Geek. He says, after nearly 2 years of speculation, it's official. Ben Affleck will not return as Bruce Wayne in the next Batman movie for Warner Brothers. Instead, the Matt Reeves-directed project, tentatively titled The Batman, will seek a new Caped Crusader and is now finally ready to ramp up production with a June 25th, 2021 release date, now marked on an ever-expanding DCEU movie release schedule calendar.
Oh.
And it said it's supposed to be a younger Batman focusing on his detective skills. And apparently there are going to be multiple villains in the movie.
Okay.
So, nice chunk of his rogues gallery. So,
who's going to be the new Batman?
I don't know. That's a question we have from Mr. Girth Brooks, which reminded me of all the times we used to joke about the name Girth Brooks back in the day. Girth Brooks 92 writes in and says, "What's up, you girthy gents?
Hey.
With Ben Affleck dropping out of the newest Batman film, who would you like to see cast in his replacement? And what actor would you cast to play that villain in the movie? My favorite combo I've read so far has been Michael B. Jordan and Lakeith Stanfield as the Joker. Unrelated, what would you rather have?" Well, we'll get to this in a second. We'll do Batman first. The second question is gold, by the way. So who would I want to play Batman? I've heard many suggestions and rumors over the years. I thought Jake Gyllenhaal may have been cool. Now that he's Mysterio, I doubt he'd play. Maybe he'd do Mysterio and Batman. That could be an option. I thought Armie Hammer wasn't a bad idea either. I could see him playing Batman. I remember Don Draper. I think he's actual character from Mad Men. I don't know if that's the actor's name, but originally when Ben Affleck was in talks to potentially be replaced, he was another idea.
I like Don Draper a lot.
Yeah, now he's too old, I think, but I could totally see him playing Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, I guess if they want a younger guy, he's...
Brad Pitt, dude. There are probably many guys that could play Batman. I know I used to have a list of people I thought would make great Bruce Wayne and Batman. I just can't remember who I had on there. But names I've heard in the past that have popped up, notably Jake Gyllenhaal and Armie Hammer, I think would be cool. So that's how I feel so far. What do you guys think?
I don't really have a good option.
Yeah, I've heard that the Penguin's supposed to be in there. I assume Joker may or may not be in there.
If it's time we get Penguin back in a Batman
movie. I think Penguin and maybe Riddler are confirmed. I can't remember.
Suit
like that.
Suit Danny DeVito back up. Get him back.
Yeah, let's do it, man.
Danny DeVito and Jim Carrey as Riddler.
That's what they need to do. Even though DeVito died in Batman Returns, they need to have Michael Keaton come back for a Batman Beyond film and have DeVito reincarnated as the Penguin. Yes. Just haunting Michael Keaton's
There
Batman.
better be real life penguins in that movie.
Well, absolutely, man.
If I'm writing.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this because there's a lot of potential to make something really awesome with this. And I like the idea of it being a younger Batman. There's a couple comic lines. There's this YouTuber I love named Grace Randolph who does a lot of movie coverage, mostly the business side, but she does a lot of reviews as well and speculation. And she speculates that there are two particular comics, which forgive me, I can't remember the titles, that sounded so cool when she described them. And she thinks they may use them as source material for the movie. And if that's the case, what she described sounded so awesome. And I think one of the stories had to do with Batman teaming up with Gordon and Harvey Dent to solve like a murder mystery or something.
Okay.
I've always loved the idea of bringing Arkham Asylum to life on the big screen. I not necessarily beat for beat that story, but that idea of just Batman being trapped in the asylum with all of his villains has so much potential for like a 3-act structure. It's technically like 3.5 acts in a film, but I could totally see that working as just like an awesome action-packed film from start to finish.
So how does he get trapped? Like, is that a big spoiler in the game?
It's like Joker's elaborate plan that gets him locked in, and a couple guards turn on him and stuff, and he's trapped in there. But yeah, I love Arkham Asylum, man. I would play that again one day for sure. Such a cool idea. It paid off so well too.
I remember seeing like the final boss fight in that game. I always thought it was really cool.
The Joker fight?
Yeah.
That's like one of the most ridiculous aspects of that game that's still laughed about today, because he's basically Hulk Joker.
Yeah.
But
I just thought it was like cool, like seeing Joker like that. I don't know.
it seems like the games got progressively more and more grounded as they continued.
Yeah.
And overall, I mean, City's always been my favorite. Arkham Knight I loved a lot about too. I hated the tank stuff, but the way the game world looked,
You didn't like
world,
Deathstroke in a tank, dude?
Oh, well, I guess when you say it that way, I loved it, man. But we've all made our peace with those games. But yeah, this movie in particular, man, I'm very excited to find out more. Hopefully, we find out about casting in the near future, so we can kind of talk about that some more. But do you guys have any actors whatsoever, joking or serious, that you might like to see in this role?
Who's going to be the next DC superhero to get canned? Who's the next one?
What do you mean, like just canceled essentially?
Yeah, just like
if Henry Cavill isn't already canned, I think he's definitely.
I thought he
next.
was already.
There was a rumor that's not confirmed yet, but yeah, probably, but it's not confirmed yet.
He's got to be Garrett now. He doesn't have time for Superman.
Yeah,
okay?
I think he's had his fill of Superman too. I'd say. I don't think he's had. I don't think he's been given what he deserves playing Superman. I don't think
Probably
he has
not.
like the movie that is like the Superman movie of our generation. But whether it's Cavill or not, I hope we get that movie one day.
Do we really need that though? Like, do we need Superman?
I think the world could use a good Superman movie. I'm not saying Man of Steel's bad by any means. I mean, I liked parts of that movie, but I wouldn't say it's like the ultimate Superman movie.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not even that big of a fan of the character, so I could be an idiot for saying that, but that's how I feel. So,
I don't know.
What do you think, Preston? Any thoughts on Batman or the Batman?
Yeah, Robert Patterson.
There we go.
Dude, I kid you not, I'd be down for that. He'd have to beef himself up a bit, but I could totally see that.
What's funny is I said that as a joke, but I can kind of see that, but I don't want that.
I know, I would kind of be, honestly, I want to see him play any role at this point, because I think he's a phenomenally talented actor, and I don't think he's worked enough. I mean, Twilight's hilarious, but everything I've seen him in other than Twilight is magnificent.
I seriously would love to see Jake Gyllenhaal as a young Batman. I think that would be
so badass. I know he has the potential to do it, or he has the ability to do it.
Yeah, I love Jake Gyllenhaal.
As do I. I'm sure he's going to kill it as Mysterio, and I could see him being a kick-ass Batman too. So I'm going to hold out hope for that.
Well, all right then.
Let's see. He could play a version of Batman that's basically his character from Nightcrawler. I think that'd be a really unique twist on the character. Is he's sort of a detective in Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
There you go. We got it, man.
Yeah.
But Girth closes out with a just wonderful question that'll really get your gears rolling.
This is the end of the show?
No, we have more after this.
Oh.
He says, unrelated, but would you rather have one gigantic poop a day, but it really hurts and feels similar to childbirth, or would you rather have to poop 25 to 30 times a day, but they are all pain-free and gumball sized? Think about this. You're potentially pooping more than once an hour in any given day, and they're gumball sized, or you can take one massive giant crap that's like childbirth.
If I'm not giving childbirth, then I'll do that option.
If you're not giving childbirth,
yeah, I don't want to
feels like childbirth. You're just dropping a huge load.
Yeah.
I
don't want to feel what childbirth's like, so I'm just going to do the tiny ones.
Yeah, the tiny little gumball poops 25, 30 times a day. What do you think, Preston?
I'm not going through that trauma.
What was it
again? Giant turd trauma.
What are we talking about?
Would you rather take one giant crap a day that's terribly painful and feels like childbirth, or would you rather poop 25 to 30 times a day, but they're all pain-free and gumball sized?
This is like continuous, like every day
every day of your life.
You kidding me?
Yeah.
You're not going to survive.
Now, if it wasn't as painful as childbirth and it was just a massive, let's say it's a giant crap that takes you an hour to get out.
If it was,
I would rather do that.
Yeah.
Than the 25 poops a day.
Just kill me.
If it's a giant poop that's like a normal time of a poop, but it feels like childbirth, I'd probably have to go with it. I'd have to poop a couple times.
I mean, you have to go with the painful
gumballs.
one, honestly, because if you do the other one, you're not gonna have time to do anything else in your days.
Yeah, I don't.
They're gumball size. You can probably get them out pretty quick.
I don't
Just sit
want
down.
to feel like I'm giving birth to a child once every day. Like that's too much. That's too much.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. So you got to go with the gumball sized.
Yeah.
You don't win here. You're just
yeah,
screwed.
They're both horrible. But.
Yeah, but we'll remain girthy, Girth Brooks. Thanks for writing in, man. You guys see the Hobbs and Shaw trailer?
I did.
I think this looks as ridiculous as it needs to look. I think it looks very entertaining.
I want to see it.
Did you see the trailer, Preston?
I have not seen it. I'm sure I'll see it during the Super Bowl.
It's exactly what you would expect it to be.
It looks completely ridiculous, but I think it looks thoroughly ententertaining.
I'm excited for the, what's his name? Is it Ibra?
Oh, Idris Elba as the villain. Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah.
I think he's going to make a good villain.
Yeah, he will. He's like a superpower. He's kind of like an agent from Crackdown, if you think about it. He's like a superpowered soldier.
Yeah, he looks like he has like some kind of exoskeleton or something implanted in him. I don't know.
So, yeah, Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Mr. What's his name?
Statham, Jason.
Jason Statham are teaming up to take down Idris Elba. So, killer cast, man. I'm sure... I remember Hobbs and Shaw were great in the most recent Fast and Furious, having to sort of team up in that one.
I remember the scene in the trailer where they're about to jump off the building and The Rock jumps, but Statham stays up and he takes the elevator down.
Yeah.
Rock's like fighting alongside, like falling down a building, and this whole time, and Statham's just in the elevator, just looking at him, like making fun of him.
So it looks like a fun time. It looks so dumb, but I'm going to go see it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I see a lot of things with The Rock in it. He's just he's
a phenomenal screen presence, and I love Hobbs as a character too. I'll never forget one of my favorite quotes ever is "I'll roll with you, Toretto" in Fast 5 when he goes, Hobbs is like hunting Toretto and his crew the entire movie, and in the end they realize they need to team up, and Hobbs looks at him, he's like, "I'll roll with you, Toretto." Yeah. Or like, "I'll ride with you, Toretto." It's awesome.
Yeah.
So I use a GIF a lot too, where he's like, "I'll see you soon." So yeah, Hobbs is good. I think it's one of the better The Rock characters he's played, for sure. It's like an actual character.
Yeah. I envy The Rock so much. Like, he's got a freaking gym.
He's a cool dude.
He travels with a gym.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
I would kill for that.
That'd be great.
I would kill a man if I could have one of those.
Absolutely.
If no one found out.
Okay. If I could get away with it. Gentlemen, that brings us to community questions. Ladies and gentlemen, you have continued to supply us with amazing questions for the last few weeks, and we cannot thank you enough for the continued support. I think Preston and I were talking about just yesterday how thankful we are for the continued support, in spite of the fact that we are not always active on Discord. We don't post to YouTube nearly as much as we used to, but you guys continually tune in every week and express your thankfulness and your support, and just means the world to us and keeps us going. It's kept us going all these years, and even when there's slow weeks and there's not a lot of news and not as much to talk about, you guys still chime in and express your support, and these questions always keep us so excited and encouraged to continue, because it shows that you care, and we love answering them week in and week out. And I meant to say this at the beginning, that I sincerely and deeply apologize for the lack of Ask IOG this week. And I know it's easy to joke about, like, oh, sorry, you missed another week, but I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. I apologize for anyone who may or may not have been expecting that, and I promised it and I didn't deliver on it, and it's because I let life get in the way, honestly. I'll talk a little bit more about it. I'm not going to share all the details. I'll talk about the life aspect here in a little bit based on one of Ren's questions, but I let life get in the way this week, and it was pretty bad, and I just did not have the energy to put into an episode. So please forgive me for promising that, and I vow going forward to never, ever, ever promise that again unless I know for a fact we're going to deliver on it. So forgive us for that, but enough with the sappiness, on to the questions. If you want to reach us for this show or Ask IOG, you can reach us in one of three places. You can email us at ItsObviousGaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at @obvious_gaming, or submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. And you can always include the hashtag AskIOG so that we know you want your questions read publicly on air. Dexter Clark writes in and says, "Hello, boys. Where did y'all come up with the name It's Obvious Gaming?" I'll hash this one out pretty quick. We've mentioned it a few times, but to those of you that are relatively new and haven't heard the story yet, it's kind of funny. Not like kind of funny the company, but we had many names listed on like a note sheet that we potentially were going to do. I think we were like, at one point we were just three boys, but that was a ripoff of Tim and Eric. I think we were called something, a lot of three names, a lot of names with three in the title, like the three this, the three that, or like the trio, or blah blah blah. A bunch of different names. We even bounced around different colors like neon green and black, blue and black, a bunch of different color schemes. We wound up running with Red and Black when we actually had the It's Obvious Gaming name, but it's because Preston, do you want to tell this part of the story, how you got it? Because it's pretty hilarious.
The name?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because it has to do with you and your mom.
Yeah, I was still living with my parents, and I was like, can't come up with this name. And my mom was just like, oh, it's obvious. And I was like, what? She's like, no, it's obvious. I was like, yeah, like what? And she's like, no, that's what you should name it. I was like, okay. So that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and Preston's mom named us It's Obvious Gaming, so
yeah.
It's as basic as that.
That's where the name came from.
Then some graphic designer guy I know made the logo, and we were just like Red and Black, and then that's how that happened. Yep. So nothing too crazy.
That's our brand.
Yep.
So yeah, thanks, Dexter. For those of you that didn't know, that's the tale. Oops, crap! Locked my phone. 1 sec.
I could read this one.
Okay.
Jacob Walters writes in and asks, "Good morrow, gods of war." Oh, thank you. I like that one. "I'm getting married today, so Preston, how is the married life? Any advice? Anyways, my game question is this: fuck one, marry one, kill one. Oh boy. Overwatch, Titanfall 2, and Red Dead Redemption 2. Thanks a ton for all the hard work you guys do. The community appreciates. Peace." Thank you, Jacob. So, marry one, kill one, fuck one, Red Dead 2, Overwatch, and Titanfall 2.
I got this.
Okay.
I would marry Red Dead. Why? Because that is an open world where you can do many, many things that are thoroughly entertaining. And whether it's going through the story, whether it's doing side missions, bounty hunts. Now, I'm not talking about just like the structured stuff in the game. I'm talking about just ridiculous things you can do just by making up your own fun. So I think in the long run, I could have a long-lasting marital relationship with Red Dead Redemption 2 and be satisfied. Okay. I would bang Titanfall 2 easily because it's just a wonderfully fluid first-person shooter that when I have played, it hasn't been much of, but when I have played it, I have enjoyed every second of it, and it is always a fun time in small spurts, whether I'm playing for 2 to 3 hours or an hour at a time. I've always had a great time, so I think it'd be a great bang.
Yeah.
So, and lastly, I would kill Overwatch. Because, you know what? Hold on. I just had a revelation here.
Okay.
You know what that revelation was?
What was that?
When you, me, Harley, and a couple other people, I think J-Rev may have been there, teamed up in Overwatch and PC after Harley had gifted me the copy.
Sure.
That was so fun. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of how much fun we used to have in Overwatch. Now, I will say this. If I'm allowed to gang bang Overwatch with my friends, I would go with Overwatch. And then I would kill Titanfall 2, because although I've really enjoyed Titanfall 2, I've had better times and more memorable experiences in Overwatch with friends. So I would probably gangbang Overwatch with my friends and then kill Titanfall.
Okay.
That's my final answer.
Preston, you want to go next? Also talk about married life. He asked about married life. How is it? How is it being married? Any advice?
It's good. Advice, make sure
don't piss her off.
Yeah, pretty much. Make sure she's happy. That's life is a lot easier when it's that way. Make sure that that's the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. Make sure that that's that you know what I mean.
Well, I think it's too late now. He's either married or you know.
Okay, cool. Well, then I hope you've done that part. So this is a really hard one because I almost want to marry Overwatch, because even though I'm not too into Overwatch, I feel like that could be a very it's like I want to marry a competitive.
It has the longest legs.
Huh?
It has the longest legs in terms of like...
Yeah, like I feel like I get the most out of it. And also, Overwatch is constantly updating and adding new people. So you'd constantly be bringing in new aspects to the relationship. You know, some new people. She ain't afraid to bring in some new friends. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I think
You're making a great point here.
I'll switch it up and I'll marry that. I'll F Red Dead, because just why wouldn't you want a piece of that? And as much as I like Titanfall, I'll have to kill it.
Yep. My answer's the same. Didn't play Titanfall 2, so I have no connection to it.
Okay, nice.
I probably should play it. Is it on PC?
Yes.
It is. You may be playing Battle Royale tomorrow.
I have to play that one day.
Yeah. Did you? You didn't even play the campaign or anything?
Nope.
Campaign solid.
Yeah, it is totally worth it to at least play the campaign. If you just want
Definitely want to get to Doom first before I think about Titanfall.
Those are
Good
great.
call, baby doll.
The cheapest way to play Titanfall is probably just to become a member of EA Access for like $5 one month, and then you just have a whole month to play Titanfall 2.
So if I'm a member of EA Access, can I play like Anthem and like any game that they release?
No, you have to be the premier for that.
So how much is that?
$10 or $15, I think.
And it's like a monthly thing?
Yes, but
Gotcha.
EA Access there's a vault with kind of older games, not like super old, but like all the old Dragon Ages, all the old Mass Effects. I even think the Batman games minus Arkham Knight are on there now, but that's just like $5 to get access to the entire vault. So
I'll have to check that out.
yeah, it's a pretty good deal. Next
That's good
question.
Kyo Kosi writes in, and strap in for this one's a little lengthy, but it's fun to answer. He says, "Hey, you grand specimen. Bit of a long one, but I hope you guys can get to it. As of the 27th of January 2019, I've inducted myself into the PC Master Race and began streaming with ease consistently.
Congratulations.
Yep, got a decent setup, nothing huge or crazy, but a solid 16GB DDR4 and GTX 1060 with an i7 processor. Don't ask, I'm not there with my terminology yet, but it runs everything I've tried so far on Macs, so that's good enough for me. Being a console gamer my whole life, I'm finding the transition shaky and I'm kind of struggling to get my mind and hands around keyboard and mouse from a controller. My question is, how did you find the change? Was it easy as getting used to a new game's controls when it first released, or did you guys have the same struggle getting used to key bindings and mouse aiming and all that shiz? If you struggled, what did you do to get over this hurdle and become gaming gods once again? Sorry if this has been asked before in a different way, but I'm needing some aid, brothers. Thanks for your podcast. Love you all to bits and enjoy all of your days as always." Kyo, thanks for the question. And I guess I'll chime in first. I didn't find the transition too tricky. No, I'm not by any means incredibly skilled on mouse and keyboard. I can hold my own.
I wouldn't say like
certainly.
any of us are like gods at
I mean, we can certainly hold our own in certain games, and I've had shining moments. I've had some rough moments in keyboard and mouse, but I'm certainly very comfortable on it, more so now than I was when we first jumped into PC. Now, I'd had a fair amount of experience on keyboard and mouse with games in the past on PC, on like my dad's old PC, like Covert or Rainbow Six games I played back in the day, and a couple other first-person shooters I'd played. So I had a rough idea of what it might feel like, but obviously with the new gear and stuff we have these days in comparison to like an old Dell PC, it feels a little different. So all it was, man, is just, you know, as everyone always says, just practice always helps. Just doing it as much as you can, you'll get more and more comfortable with it. And I'm at the point now, and I know you guys can relate, jumping back to a controller to play a shooter feels very, very strange. Now I can get used to it after a while, but for example, I played Halo 3 with Zach last night on Xbox, and it felt so clunky, which is fine, because I got used to the way it felt again after a while, but it is amazing just how different it feels going back and forth. Too. You do. So just having full control with your hand and the movement of the mouse all over the mouse pad is just very satisfying, and it feels good. So I definitely have a preference for shooters specifically on PC going forward. I mean, most games in general, but yeah, just getting used to it is just a lot of practice, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just about playing a lot and getting used to it. I will say early on, like finding a DPI, like if you have a gaming mouse and a software to go with it, like Razer or what brand do you guys have? What's it called? Corsair.
Yeah. I have a Razer myself.
And there's a lot of different brands out there, but you know, find like a DPI that you are comfortable with, and then go from there in terms of like adjusting your sensitivity within the game.
I highly, highly recommend a MMO mouse. I know some people like don't like them for FPSs, but I've just gotten so used to it that this is the only mouse that I use for everything. But having 12 buttons on the side of my mouse that I can keybind to anything made the transition a whole lot easier. I mean, I'm completely fine now, like to hit all the numbers up top and stuff now, but just because I've played so much. But that was the hardest thing for me in the beginning, especially when I was playing MMOs and didn't have an MMO mouse, was hitting like 1 through 7 on the top. Yeah. But now it's just great that if like melee, I always like to put it on 10 on my mouse, because that's just where my thumb naturally rests. And then just any other, like in Deus Ex, it's like someone using your abilities is like F1 through 4. It's like I'm not reaching all the way up there. Like I'll just put it on my mouse somewhere. So that makes it a whole lot easier. So I would definitely look into getting one of those. in my opinion, at least.
It's a good suggestion.
A lot of people like to lower their sensitivity, get a big mouse mat, and then use their whole arm to aim, which is what I recommend doing. That will make you more precise in the long run, but I am guilty of being a wrist aimer.
Yeah. I think better for actually the health of your wrist too, if you incorporate your whole shoulder.
I tried to like use my arm. I can't make that connection in my mind. Like I do a little bit, obviously, but my wrist is doing a lot of movement too.
Yeah. It's like if you lower your sensitivity, like you said, it kind of forces you more to use your whole arm because you kind of have to.
Like even if like I went to Best Buy and bought a big gaming mouse pad. It's like an extra large HyperX mouse pad. It's been awesome. It was only like $30.
Not bad.
I have the Corsair one that I think everybody on planet Earth has.
Yeah.
It's like every setup I see on Twitter or something, everybody has this mouse pad.
Just a good one.
Yeah, this is cool looking.
Great tips, gents. Keo, I hope those help, man. Ren writes in and says, "Hey, IOG. Been a really long time. I recently took a hiatus from podcasting for a bit, and I had a question. Has there ever been a moment in your lives when you really just wanted to drop everything for a while?"
Sure.
Yeah? Can you think of any specifics?
Give me a second. I mean, I'll think of one.
What about you, Preston?
Like just a hiatus in a particular thing, or just everything?
Yeah, either in a particular thing or just everything, or if you just need a break.
I've taken long breaks from video games before.
Yeah, he's talked about that before.
Yeah, just there are just some times when, in terms of, I don't like to play video games if I have a lot of stuff in life going on. I can't enjoy them. So if I'm ever really stressed out with anything, or especially when I was in school and other things, I just needed to kind of take a break from games in particular. And sometimes I've had periods where I just don't want to play. It's just I either have too much stuff to play, so it kind of stresses me out in terms of like what I need to play, and I end up just not playing it.
Yeah.
In general. So yeah, I definitely feel that way.
I'm kind of like a creature of habit, so I kind of like do a lot of things that I always do. I don't like have like things that I just quit and didn't do for a long time. If I did, I just don't do them because I didn't like them. Like I didn't want to do them. But like in terms of like playing a video game, like I've had months where I didn't want to play like a single player game. I was just really in a mood to shoot other people in games. So that's what I would do. Or I would like take breaks from watching Netflix and I would just watch YouTube for a while, or just little stuff like that, or like things that I do. I just get tired of like consuming like maybe a certain kind of media, so I want to take a break from that and do something else to entertain myself. But I feel like Garrett has a really good answer for this.
I do. I am currently, I just started yesterday on a 30-day break from social media entirely.
Ooh.
I haven't deleted all the apps. I didn't delete my accounts or anything, but I just deleted them so I wouldn't be tempted to look at them because, there are multiple reasons for it. One of which I've thought about doing this for a while because I just get so consumed by it. I mean, I'm not obsessed with social media, but I just have a natural tendency to open social media whenever I'm just sitting around not doing anything.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure a lot of us can relate to that too. And we're also interconnected. So the thought alone of just literally disconnecting from a lot of ways the world around you.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second because I need to say this before I forget it.
Okay.
I need to stop getting on social media when I wake up in the morning.
Exactly.
I sit in bed for like an hour just on my phone.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that as well.
Yeah,
I get so much stuff done.
that was one of my biggest crutches too. Today was the first morning, I kid you not, I think the first time in my life since social media has existed, I haven't woken up and immediately looked at it. I just woke up and actually got out of bed and did some things.
And then like sometimes you're looking at it, then you fall back asleep. Mm-hmm. And then you're like screwed.
Yeah. So that was a big part of it. And just perpetually throughout each day, I was just constantly looking at it. And I would even look at it when I had already seen everything, but I'd open it anyway to see if anything else had popped up. And it can be wearing on you too, especially if you're on Twitter too much. There's a lot of crap on Twitter that just really can bog you down if you're not
toxicity
careful.
Everywhere.
Yeah. And so I just really need to disconnect from that for a while. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to share the details because that's a little too personal, I think, for the podcast. But I wanted to just extend, and I know it can get weird for some people because not everyone leads a life similar to the three of us do and a couple others in the community. But I mean, openly, I've said in the past that I am an avid follower of Christ. I am a Christian, and I know it doesn't always seem that way based on some of my language and the jokes I might make, but which I don't always feel good about. But truth is, I am a Christian, and whether you are cool with that, if you're not cool with that, I totally understand. But I want to be open about that, and so I wanted to just throw a line out there to the community, to those of you who are Christians or followers of Christ, or anything even remotely related to being a follower of Christ. If you're willing to send some prayers my way. So I this past week, I mean, I've been pretty torn up for a few months now, but this past week has been, I think, probably the hardest week of my life so far. Try not to cry on the podcast, but I'm really going through a rough patch right now. If you guys could pray for me, I'd really appreciate it. And just anyway, I know we joke too about the organic vibes, but at the very least, just send some organic vibes my way, because I'm a very, very sad person right now, and it's bogged me down. It's hindered my workflow and my focus and my courage and a lot of my confidence in many ways, and I'm really, really broken up about it. So any goodwill or prayers you can send my way, I'd greatly appreciate it. And in relation to Ren's question, that's another one of the reasons why it finally pushed me over the edge of quitting social media for a while, because the stuff that I have been looking at, not really just about any particular people, just in general, I just need to get away from the world for a while. Now, you don't have to worry about the podcast. Still going to put the podcast out. I'll respond to comments on Discord and YouTube and stuff, but I'm not going to get on stuff like Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or anything for at least 30 days. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. And, yeah, I definitely I'm at a point where I feel like quitting everything, but I can't because I have so many responsibilities. I don't have the strength, it feels like, to carry on, but I have to. And so I could really use any encouragement and prayers and good vibes you can send my way. So
you guys heard him.
That is my answer for Ren's question. But enough of the sad talk. Next one comes from Carlos. And thank you for that, Ren, by the way. Carlos says, what do you guys think is going to be the first 10 of the year for video games? Kingdom Hearts, Anthem, etc.
The first what?
First 10 of the year, like 10 out of 10. Obviously, it wasn't Kingdom Hearts.
It was Resident Evil.
It's definitely not going to be...
Wait, was Resident Evil 10 out of 10?
It was not.
Oh.
Well, someone may have gotten it a 10. I don't think I actually saw a 10.
I don't think I saw one on Metacritic.
Did you?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
So, like, just...
I would say a game...
What are we basing this on?
I would say a game that warrants, like, the first 10 of the year is a game that receives more than 110. Like Red Dead, for example, received more than 110.
I don't know if I can predict one.
So, Anthem definitely will not be the first 10.
Is The Last of Us 2 coming out this year?
If it does,
I don't know.
I would say that's definitely a strong contender for 10.
That's the only one I would bet on.
Yeah. Days Gone, man.
Yeah.
Days Gone does look cool.
Dude, I
hope.
don't know if
it's a 10.
If that was a 10, that'd be super hype.
Yeah, it'd be pretty wild.
It's hard to say because we don't know.
I don't think it'll be Metro.
Later this year.
I think Doom Eternal, if it does by some miracle launch this year, that has potential to be a 10, definitely. Because id Software is phenomenally talented. I don't think it'll be Rage.
Oh, no.
It's not going to be Devil May Cry. I feel like that'll have some problems somewhere.
It's hard to say. I mean, usually you can predict. I mean, I predicted before I even played Red Dead, that's probably going to be a 10 from at least a few places.
Yeah.
Spider-Man got a lot of 10s too. But that one was a little iffy too because we didn't know exactly what to expect. We just knew we were really hyped for it and it looked amazing.
I'm just looking through a bunch of stuff that's coming out this year, and
I would be safe like giving Cyberpunk maybe a 10, but I don't think that's going to come out this year.
No, there's nothing's really jumping out from the list that I'm looking at.
The new Call of Duty.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
maybe
Fortnite 2.
Yeah. That's what the world needs right now is Fortnite 2.
Did you see over the weekend there was a live concert in Fortnite?
Yeah, with Marshmallow.
In Fortnite.
Yeah, Marshmallow, the
DJ.
Yeah, he literally held a concert in Fortnite.
How?
Well, he wasn't literally there, but like his costume was in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They put a model of him.
Yeah.
I think he did like he voiced lines to be put into the game like as if he was performing on the stage.
Yeah.
And like you would get into this lobby.
Is it Battle Royale that you did this in?
Like it wasn't like like you couldn't shoot people because like you could drop into this concert zone and then like you literally like heard his music and there was like cool effects where you could like there was a part in the song where it said jump and you like just jumped everywhere and then there was like a part where you flew and you were like levitating.
Okay.
It was actually kind of cool. I watched a video of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I didn't actually play it because I don't play Fortnite, but
that game continues to amaze me in one way or another.
It was just cool like seeing like this is Like I feel like it's the largest concert ever. It's got to be because there's how many people play that game at once. So.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So it was a digital concert, but a concert nonetheless.
And like it kind of like made me think: are we gonna get more stuff like this? Like, will concerts become something like this, like where you don't actually go to them anymore? You just kind of show up at your house.
I mean, I think that also has to do with Marshmello
Yeah.
is really into Fortnite. Like they do a lot of stuff together, anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's an exciting little medium to keep pushing forward to see what comes out of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, Carlos, all the games I can think of, I don't think any of them are going to be 10s, with the exception of maybe Doom and or Last of Us if they actually come out this year.
Yeah, I definitely think there's going to be a lot of highly rated games for sure.
Definitely,
like I think Sekiro will be rated highly.
Yeah,
I still think Doom will be rated highly. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Carlos. Georgie T has the big finale for us. He says, "Hello, boys."
So I was talking to people in my stream last night, and they were talking about how we always say that. Yeah. They're like, I don't know why, but you guys like everyone says it now because you guys say it, and everyone loves it.
I don't know where that came from. It's pretty funny. He says, "Quick tidbit question: what is the last game that really grabbed your attention for which you had no initial expectation and or hype?" I've gotten really hooked on Ratchet & Clank, which I initially tried just out of curiosity.
Great game.
It's a great feeling when a game surprises you. Keep up the good work. You guys are an absolute pleasure to listen to. Well, Georgie, thank you for listening and writing in. I can relate to Ratchet & Clank in a sense because I never played the original, and I knew I was relatively excited for the remake from Insomniac, and that game delivered big time, man. I absolutely adored it.
I didn't really follow any of the news about RE2.
Mm-hmm.
I literally played it because I thought it would be good entertainment for the internet, and I ended up really liking it. So I was pretty surprised there.
I feel like I just played a game not too long ago that I had zero expectations
was that
for.
Crappy game you played?
The Techromancer.
Yeah, Techromancer.
I knew. No, I don't think it's that one. It was recently.
Dragon Quest 11.
Sorry, I completely. No, I don't remember what it is. I know that's such a bad answer, but I know I just played one recently.
Oh, it's the Switch game you're playing.
Okami?
Yeah.
No. It was a game. I'm like, I don't even know why I bought it, but I think it was just because, and I really ended up enjoying it a whole lot. I don't know. I'm not going to bore you trying to remember it, but I literally can't remember it.
Just know that he has one.
Yeah, I did do it.
Well, there we go. I don't think I have any other ones that I can think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, I hate to rip off your answer, Georgie, or what you said, but Ratchet & Clank probably for me is the last one I can remember that really, really grabbed me like that, and I wasn't anticipating much from it. So, yeah, that was a good one. All of you, thank you so much for your questions. We greatly appreciate them. There's plenty more to get to, and we can get to an Ask IOG and just reserved for future episodes too, but never hesitate to send some more our way if you're willing, because they always keep us fueled for each episode and add the interesting conversations here at the end.
Arguably the best part of the show.
Agreed. Yeah, I love this part of the show. It's
where
my
we
favorite.
can directly communicate.
Absolutely.
Every week.
So, yeah, thank you as always. And don't forget to subscribe and rate us and review us on iTunes if you're willing, or Apple Podcast. Really helps us grow. And by some miracle, maybe we'll wind up on the New Noteworthy page one day.
I don't know.
New Noteworthy. We've been around for almost 5 years, which it'll be 5 years on the 23rd, I believe.
Jeez.
We've been around. Or 4? Maybe 4? I think it's 4.
That's this month?
Mm-hmm. So
we have 101 ratings. We did it.
Not bad. We hit 100, man. Nice.
We did it.
We appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, if I could find any.
Yeah, it's a shame it keeps them out of order.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Is there a way you can sort
change.
that, like up above somewhere?
Not that I see. There's no like.
Bummer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, guys, thank you so much for helping us get over 100. I'd like to hit 200 at some point, maybe one day. But yeah, thank you so much for the support. I don't think I have anything else to add to this episode, Preston, if you want to sign us out.
Yeah, man, sounds good. I did forget to say that I played Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time last night for 30 minutes.
How did it go?
Last night, you said?
Yeah, I was on Uplay, and it was on sale for like $3. And I was like, you know what?
Nice.
I'm going to buy that. And it was like, of course, 1 gig. So I just sat there and downloaded it and played it for like 30 minutes.
Did you? I assume you reached the part where he's like, and there it lay, the dagger of time.
Yeah, I got the dagger and got a little bit farther. And then I quit, and he was like, you don't want me to continue the story?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because I actually found a couple from 2019. The tribe called I'm butchering this name. Tribe called Kez. He gave us a 5-star, excellent with ease. Then we got Wrath 6, great gaming podcast. Thank you guys so much. Here's another one. Morbos. Thank you so much for the 5 stars. And I think that's all of the 2019 ones. So thank you guys so much for the 5 stars. If you want to help us out, like Garrett said, please leave us a review on iTunes. We love them, and we will love you.
Oh, you know what?
We already do.
I think I remembered the game that I was just talking about. I think it was Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay.
I got it thinking like, yeah, this will be okay. But I mean, I got like 80 hours into it. I think when I first talked about it on the podcast, I was saying how much it impressed me and how it just really exceeded my expectation in terms of the scope and the combat and everything. And definitely with Origins as well. I did not think I was going to like Origins. I guess just this entire new kind of reboot type thing they've done with Assassin's Creed really surprised me how good it is. So
yeah, it seems like they're on a pretty good track since Unity or Syndicate. I guess.
I mean, I still go back and play. I just played Odyssey about a week ago for like a couple of hours. Like I still am slowly nicking away at that game. It's a really good time every time I go back to that game. A lot of fun.
I don't know if I'll ever play them. I don't know.
Definitely
it's too big.
I know it's definitely not a game where you can just rush through it. It's mind-blowingly big. It's borderline ridiculous. But
anyways,
very cool. But yeah, anyways, we really appreciate you guys listening to us. Please, like Garrett said, leave us a review on the Apple Podcasting app. We would greatly appreciate it. Subscribe to us as well at youtube.com/ItsObviousGaming. Check out our Discord server. Just check the description down below and follow us on everything we have there. We would really appreciate that and appreciate the people that have already done that. Again, I think that's it. We really thank everybody that listens to us every week. We appreciate it. Again, I've said that like 30 times now, but we really do. But I think that would be pretty much anything, pretty much everything. I'm losing it here, guys, at the very end. But we will see you guys next week. And
have a good one.
That's it. Bye.
See you guys. Leave Garrett some warm wishes.
Please.
Yes.
See ya.
Bye.